Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another deep dive, and today we're looking at the global entertainment industry.
Yeah, all the latest happenings in TV, film, and streaming. Oh, and even a little bit about podcasts, too.
We've got a whole stack of industry news and updates for you all today. Festival announcements, award shows, and even some behind-the-scenes peeks at productions and deals.
We really dug deep into the source material for this one.
We're going to equip you with the knowledge on all the most intriguing trends and developments happening right now in entertainment.
And how those developments might impact you as viewers.
So let's kick things off by zooming out and looking at the big picture. One thing that's super clear from our research is that the entertainment industry is undergoing some massive transformations right now. There are power plays happening at every level.
Absolutely. Mergers and acquisitions are through the roof, actually.
Yeah.
70% success rate, which, signals a major shift in how media companies are operating and how they're thinking about the future.
Yeah, for sure. For example, Disney's acquisition of Fubo. That's been generating a lot of buzz. So
Oh, yeah.
what do you think? What are the potential implications of that deal?
Well, Disney already owns ESPN, right? So adding Fubo to their portfolio, that gives them a really dominant position in sports streaming.
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
And that could lead to, well, more exclusive content, obviously, but also probably higher prices for consumers because, they're all competing for your viewership.
Right. So fewer choices, but at a higher cost. It makes you think, like, will cable even be a thing anymore as these streaming giants just keep consolidating power?
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
And, these power shifts, they're not just happening in the U.S. In the U.K., there's a huge debate right now about the future of the BBC, like how it should even be funded.
Yeah. Yeah, the current license fee model. Well, people are challenging that now, right?
They are.
So what are some of the alternatives being considered?
Well, some folks are proposing a shift to just general taxation. Others are exploring even more radical ideas, like citizen ownership.
Whoa, citizen ownership of the BBC. How would that even work?
Yeah, it's a very complex concept. But essentially, citizens would have a direct say in how the BBC is run and what kind of content it produces,
Wow.
which, emphasizes public accountability and could potentially lead to more diverse programming that really reflects what viewers want. But of course, there's two sides to every coin. It could also make the BBC more susceptible to political influence.
Oh, for sure. There would definitely be pros and cons.
Exactly.
But it is interesting to see how these different funding models, well, they have a very direct impact on what we see and how accessible it is.
Absolutely.
So we've got these big power moves happening, but beyond that, I think it's interesting to see other trends emerging in how content is being created.
Yeah, what's been surprising me? The resurgence of entertainment formats.
Formats. What do you mean by that?
So a format, it's essentially a blueprint for a show, a blueprint that could be adapted for different cultures and audiences. Think of it, well, almost like a recipe. You've got your basic ingredients, but you can tweak them to suit local tastes.
Okay, I get it. So instead of starting totally from scratch, producers can take this like proven concept and give it a local twist. Are there any examples of some successful formats?
Oh, absolutely. BBC's Bake Off. It's
Yeah.
been insanely successful, especially in Latin America. Like they've got adaptations in Brazil and Argentina, and there's companies like Dory Media. They're seeing global success with formats like Power Couple and Smart Face. They've been adapted all over the world.
That makes sense. Take a familiar framework, but then like infuse it with local culture.
Yeah.
Give it some flavor.
Exactly.
And, it's not just importing these formats either. We're also seeing this rise in like locally produced shows gaining international recognition.
Yeah, big time.
I'm thinking about shows like Real Love and The Remix. They started locally and then ended up on international platforms. Why? Because they tapped into those relatable experiences and cultural nuances that resonate with a wide range of audiences.
Yeah, totally.
And speaking of reaching audiences in new ways, there's been so much talk about live streaming and how creators are gaining more and more influence.
Yeah, for sure. Platforms like Fireside, that one's backed by Mark Cuban, they're empowering creators to own their content and monetize it through interactive live streams.
I've heard that creators on those platforms like Fireside are actually earning way more than they do on traditional platforms, like, say, YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. They're cutting out the middleman, you see, and monetizing through subscriptions, pay-per-views, sponsorships, all while they're building a stronger, more direct relationship with their audience.
So is this like the future of content creation? Are we going to see these big media companies lose their grip as these creators build their own kind of media empires?
It's a really good question. I think this new model is shaking things up, for sure. It's definitely forcing those traditional media companies to adapt and evolve, but how it'll all play out, that's the million-dollar question.
It'll be interesting to watch for sure. But while we're pondering the future of content creation, I think we should give our listeners a quick rundown of what's hot right now in the entertainment world.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's highlight some of the big achievements, upcoming shows, maybe even a viral sensation or two.
Okay, first up, congrats to Gwyneth Hughes and Gail Renard.
Yes.
For receiving the Outstanding Contribution to Writing Award from the Writers Guild of Great Britain.
Hughes, she's known for bringing those real-life stories to the screen, like the drama Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. And then Renard, she's a BAFTA-winning writer and such a strong advocate for, better conditions for writers in the industry.
Yeah, it's awesome to see these talented women getting the recognition they deserve.
For sure.
Okay, so for those of you who love historical dramas, keep an eye out for King and Conqueror. It's coming soon.
Yeah, the CBS Studios production. It stars James Norton, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, and it tells the story of the rivalry between Harold of Wessex and William of Normandy leading up to the Battle of Hastings.
And speaking of stars, Anna Cathcart, she's juggling college life with starring in Netflix's XO Kitty, the spinoff of To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
I know. It's crazy. It's great to see her career taking off like that.
It is.
Okay, so for our viral sensation today, Mr. Beast, his Beast Games topped the December wit list. A whopping 125,000 new Instagram followers after its premiere.
I mean, it is incredible how he's built such a massive following, and he's got that unique blend of entertainment and philanthropy.
Yeah, totally.
But hey, let's not forget about the thought-provoking content coming out of the UK.
Oh, right. Channel 4 is doing something really interesting with Murder Jury. They're recreating a real-life murder trial, but with 2 juries of, regular people to explore how the justice system works,
Yeah.
all the complexities.
It's such a fascinating concept. It allows viewers to really step into the shoes of a juror and consider all that evidence and, the weight of decision-making.
It's heavy stuff.
For sure.
And last but not least, the Sundance Film Festival. They're getting ready for their Beyond Film lineup, which features, renowned filmmakers like Chloe Sevigny, Olivia Colman, and Daniel Kaluuya.
Sundance is always a hub for, creativity and these amazing conversations. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, for sure.
But, that's just a glimpse of what's happening on screen. There's a whole other side to the entertainment industry, and that's what we're going to explore next.
We're going behind the scenes. We're going to delve into the deals, the productions, and the festivals that make all of this content possible. So stay tuned.
All right, so we just scratched the surface with those highlights.
Yeah, just a taste.
But now let's head backstage. Let's see what's brewing in the world of productions, deals, and festivals.
Oh, yeah. VIP access to the engine room of the entertainment industry.
Exactly, and there is a lot to unpack.
A lot going on.
So where should we even begin?
Well, let's start with Unifrance. That organization that promotes French cinema worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, they're expanding their Rendezvous with French Cinema event.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, to include TV screenings and press junkets. So basically, one-stop shop for international buyers to discover new films and television from France.
Smart move. It really reflects this growing kind of blurring of the lines between film and TV, right?
Absolutely. We're seeing it at the Göteborg Film Festival in Sweden, too.
Really?
Yeah. Their Nordic film market. It's going to showcase projects from acclaimed directors like Lone Scherfig.
Oh, from The Moody Teller.
That's her, yeah.
Yeah.
And Helena Paul Mason.
Nice. These film markets are so crucial for filmmakers, It's like their chance to connect with investors, distributors, and really get their projects off the ground.
Yeah, you never know what hidden gems might get discovered there.
Totally.
And sometimes those projects end up being acquired by companies like Dogwoof. They recently acquired the rights to 2,000 Meters to Andriivka. This documentary, it follows Ukrainian soldiers during a mission to liberate a village.
Wow.
Directed by Mstislav Chernov.
He made 20 Days in Mariupol, right?
Yeah, the Oscar-winning one.
Powerful.
Oh, yeah. It's a reminder that entertainment can be a platform for sharing those important stories. Shedding light on global events.
For sure.
All right, on a lighter note,
Okay.
we've got Rainbow Group, the creators of Winx Club. They secured a $92 million investment to, get this, fuel their global expansion.
Wow. Those magical fairies are about to take over the world.
Oh, yeah. Get ready.
Speaking of captivating audiences, Vizio, the smart TV maker, they're bundling Stars and AMC Plus at a discounted price now.
Yeah, this is part of that bigger trend in the streaming wars. Companies are bundling services trying to, well, attract subscribers and give viewers more content options.
It's an interesting strategy. I do wonder, though, will there be a point where consumers just get overwhelmed by all these choices? You know what I mean? Like subscription overload.
Yeah, it's a valid concern. I think it'll be interesting to see how consumers respond to this. Like, do these bundles actually provide value or just, add to the complexity?
Right, exactly. Well, while we wait to see how that all plays out, let's dive into some specific productions that are generating some buzz.
Let's do it.
Okay, so CBS has resumed production on some of their popular shows.
Oh, cool. Which ones?
Well, NCIS, Origins, Papa's House, and The Neighborhood.
Good to see the industry finding ways to move forward, despite the writer's strike and those recent wildfires in L.A.
Yeah, it's been a tough time for sure.
Speaking of comebacks,
Oh, yeah.
Channel 4 just released the first trailer for Brian and Maggie.
I haven't heard of that one.
It stars Steve Coogan as the political interviewer Brian Walden
Oh, wow.
and Harriet Walter as, wait for it, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
No way.
Yeah, and it depicts their iconic 1989 TV interview, which, was a pretty pivotal moment in Thatcher's career.
Revisiting those historical moments through entertainment, I think it gives us a new perspective and some insights, I'm always fascinated by those kinds of projects.
Yeah, me too. Okay, for the foodies out there,
Yes. Hit me.
Australian public broadcaster SBS, they've commissioned Street Food Nomad.
Ooh.
6-episode series featuring chef Will Merrick, who's like an expert in Southeast Asian cuisine.
Have those kinds of food shows, it's such a great way to explore different cultures and communities. I can practically smell the aromas of Kolkata already.
I know, right?
Okay.
What else? Back in the UK, the BBC and BritBox have given us a little sneak peek at Riot Women.
What's that one about?
It's a 6-part drama written by Sally Wainwright, the creator of Happy Valley and Gentleman Jack.
Wow, she's amazing.
Yeah, so this series, it follows 5 women who form a punk rock band.
Cool.
And it all takes place against the backdrop of the Greenham Common Women's Peace Camp, which protested nuclear weapons in the 1980s.
Such a powerful and timely story. Music, social commentary, and strong female characters. It's the perfect combo.
Yeah, totally. And speaking of strong female characters,
Uh-oh, who are we talking about?
get ready for Amandaland, the Motherland spinoff.
What?
Yeah, it focuses on Lucy Punch's character,
Oh,
Amanda.
I love her.
Right, so the BBC announced the full cast. And, get this, Joanna Lumley and Philippa Dunn are in it.
No way, that's incredible.
Yeah. Excited to see what kind of comedic chaos Amanda will get into.
Me too.
All right, now for something a little different.
Yeah.
BBC Two is airing a new series by Norma Percy called Israel and the Palestinians, The Road to 7th October.
Okay.
It examines the conflict over the past 20 years, leading up to the events of October 7th, 2023. Norma Percy, she's known for those insightful documentaries.
Oh, yeah, this one's going to be thought-provoking, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of documentaries, Channel 4 has commissioned a fast turnaround film called Inferno, L.A. on Fire. It's about those recent wildfires in Los Angeles.
Right.
Those documentaries, they capture those urgent events, and help us really understand the impact.
Okay, so while Netflix is wrapping up its Brazilian hit, Sintonia, with a 5th and final season,
Okay.
there's this short filmmaking waves online called Local One.
What's it about?
Well, it's a companion piece to that Oscar shortlisted documentary, Union, the one that chronicles that historic Amazon strike.
It's amazing how even short films can pack a punch and raise awareness about these important social issues.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some deals.
Okay.
Memento International just acquired the international sales rights to a French social thriller called Nino in Paradise.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
And for those who love Turkish dramas,
Oh, yeah.
Canal D International's Love Trap premiered in Chile. It's a romantic comedy about a couple who pretend to be in love. But, their scheme, well, it leads to some unexpected consequences. I know, right? But you know what? It's pretty cool to see these shows traveling across borders like that.
Yeah, it really speaks to the power of good storytelling, no matter the language or culture.
Totally. Okay, to illustrate that even further, MK2 Films has secured the rights to Enzo.
Okay.
It's a French drama. It follows a 16-year-old boy whose life is transformed by, get this, a Ukrainian colleague during a masonry apprenticeship.
Wow, cool. A coming-of-age story set against these changing social dynamics in France.
Exactly.
I love those stories that bridge cultures like that. Really highlights that human connection, you know?
Absolutely. And finally, Reef Ghost Television is highlighting a documentary called In Their Own Words, President Jimmy Carter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's an intimate look at the life of the 39th U.S. president. Features perspectives from people who knew him best.
Documentaries like that give us such valuable insights into history. It's so important to learn from the past.
So I think we covered the whole spectrum of the entertainment world today, from those lighthearted comedies to the thought-provoking documentaries.
Yeah, I think so.
And, with all these developments happening so fast, it really makes you wonder what the future holds for the entertainment industry.
I know, right? Like, what will even it look like in 5 or 10 years? Will we even recognize? I know, right? Like, will we even recognize it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's impossible to predict the future. But I think these trends we've been talking about today,
Yeah.
well, they offer some clues.
Yeah, for sure. So, based on these trends, what do you think? What are some possible scenarios that could play out?
Well, one possibility is that those big media companies, they adapt and evolve. Find some innovative ways to engage viewers and stay ahead of the game. We're already seeing them expand their streaming empires, experimenting with these subscription bundles, and incorporating, more diverse voices and perspectives into their programming.
So, those established players, they're not going down without a fight.
Oh, absolutely not. They've got the resources. They've got the infrastructure and a
Right.
deep, deep understanding of content creation and distribution.
Right.
But they're going to have to stay agile
Mm-hmm.
and innovative, if they want to thrive in this rapidly changing environment.
Yeah, they can't just rest on their laurels, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
What about those independent creators, though? The ones using platforms like Fireside.
Right.
Do you think they have a real shot at disrupting the status quo, or eventually will they just get absorbed by the, big media machine?
That's a fascinating question. We could see a shift toward a more decentralized entertainment ecosystem
Hmm.
where, creators have more control over their content, their revenue, and their relationships with fans. Platforms like Fireside, I think they're really empowering people to build their own sort of media empires,
Hmm.
and that could lead to a more diverse and, democratized landscape.
I gotta say, I find that idea really exciting. More voices, more perspectives, more choices for us viewers.
Exactly. But it's important to remember the challenges those independent creators face. They often lack the resources and marketing power of, those big companies. It's tough to break through the noise and really capture the audience's attention.
Yeah, that makes sense. It seems like the future of entertainment isn't just about technology or these business models.
Right.
It's also about the people involved. The creators, the executives, but, most importantly, the viewers.
Absolutely. You, the viewer, you have a huge role to play in shaping the future of entertainment.
Wow.
The choices you make, what you watch, where you watch it, who you support, those choices send signals to the industry. They
Oh.
influence what gets made and how it's distributed.
So we're not just passive consumers, we're active participants in how this whole thing evolves.
Yes, exactly. And with technology always advancing, always creating new possibilities, it's worth thinking about what role you want to play in this evolving landscape.
Mhm.
Will you be a consumer, a creator, maybe both?
That's a really great question. It encourages us to think beyond just watching, to actually explore how we can creatively express ourselves and engage with the entertainment we love.
It's an exciting time to be a part of this world, both as a creator and as a consumer.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the global entertainment industry. We talked about those big industry shakeups, behind-the-scenes deals, new shows and documentaries, and the rise of international content. I think it's clear that this is an industry that's constantly changing, full of surprises and endless possibilities.
Absolutely. And as we navigate this ever-changing landscape, I think the key is to stay curious, explore new content, and most importantly, have fun.
Right. And don't forget to check out our show notes for links to all those articles, shows, and people we talked about today. Until next time, happy watching, everyone.